Building a 350 stump puller for under $1,000 with the torque of a 400 small block using 305 heads, aka Stumpy. These 305 heads are going to give you 11-to-1 compression with a standard 15 thousandths head gasket and put you exactly in the torque range you need to be in. Now this is assuming you already have a 350 small block in one of your big body vehicles. The objective here is cheap, easy, everyday torque because that's what it takes to move these vehicles down the road. Now you're not looking for just any 305 heads to put on your stump puller like I did with mine when I went with a set of 70s 305 434 castings. What you're looking for is a set of 1980s high output 305 heads like what was equipped on these mullet machines here back in the day. From Z28 Camaro to SS Monte Carlo, that's where you can find these 305 HO heads. Now if you're lucky, you'll find the owner giving them away. That's what guys have been doing with these heads and these 305 engines for decades. But since so many have been given away and scrapped, you may have to scour your local junkyard and spend up to maybe $150. Either way, if you have to spend about $150 to find a set that you know comes off a lower mile, good running engine, you're going to be in the lead. Take my advice on it. The next thing you're doing is going with a specific cam. I recommend Comp Cam's Magnum 280H, 2,000 to 6,000 RPM, 480 lift, 280 duration. This cam is perfect for the Stumpy 350. The entire cam kit, everything you're gonna need, is $500. It's gonna sound cool and impress your girlfriend at the same time, which is everything this channel is about. Now I mean just impressing my girlfriend, I meant impressing yours too. She knows I run the Pete Jackson. But with that cam, it is recommended that you run at least a 2500 plus stall converter, and I can speak for that because I had that cam in one of my 80s SS Monte Carlos. And I ran that setup in front of a stock torque converter, which it ran okay, but it did not maximize its performance. But you can go one cam lower, the 270H, which I have in my stump puller right now, and it works perfectly in front of a stock torque converter. Though, I have a 2800 TCI in mine. I consider this one a hot RV cam, and it sounds okay in my car, but you'll really love the 280H. Head gaskets, $30 each. Stock thickness, 15 thousandths. The best intake to top this thing off with is going to be an Edelbrock Performer, 1500 to 5500 RPM. It's also the cheapest intake on earth. You can find these used for usually around $50 if you don't already have one on your engine, which I assume half of you probably do. The only other thing to do from here is put a 600 to 650 Edelbrock or Holley carburetor on it. If you're talking a Holley, it can be single feed, dual feed, vacuum secondaries only. Due to the raised compression ratio, you're now going with a set of R44T spark plugs. Call it a fucking day and thank me later. And if you've got the extra $100 to throw at it, you can also get a set of ARP head bolts. I don't know, for the $105, I think it looks pretty good. And the cool thing is, they're reusable, so if you've got to break it down and get into it again, you're already set with bolts. And the next thing I did, which is completely optional for you guys, at the extra cost of $76, was go with a set of 1.6 stamp steel rockers for my Stumpy. You're not going to see a marginal astronomical gain here, if any at all. But if you do have worn out rocker arms, and you got to buy some anyways, here you go. At no extra cost, the stock standard 1.5s is going to cost you that. And these make no difference running the stock push rod. It's all the same. Now with the 70s 305 heads that I have on my Stumpy, I took one small step with them and I knocked out these corners up here where you see them in the intake runners. I knocked those out. I took the Dremel and opened up the intake runners until they were nice and rectangular like they are here. And that's all I did. I didn't go full port and polish. This wasn't to open it up for a bunch of more horsepower. It was just to basically get it right, make it run the way I want it to run, where I want it to run at. And if any of you guys have heads where they have that kind of shelf on the intake runner or handicap, I advise you to do the same. Just knock out that corner, open it up, nice and rectangular, just like they are here. Based on all the options I've just given you, to put this dirt floor budget stump puller together, you could spend anywhere from $600 to $1,000. But I guarantee you it will give you the torque of a 400 small block without having to have the 400 small block.